Teletubbies was a weird show, like a really weird show. It was a live-action children's show aimed primarily at toddlers and began airing in the UK from 1997 right up to 2018? Really? Wow, they even apparently had little baby Teletubbies. Jesus, these things breeding is a horrifying and frightening idea. Now, I was born in 1991, so by the time Teletubbies started airing, I was already feeling a bit too old for it, and had already moved on to older and more sophisticated shows, such as Cow and Chicken.
Are you the Dr. Junk's professor of milk?
The same.
Oh, it would be an honor to squirt for you.
And even at that young age where your mind is more accepting of weird and illogical occurrences, I still remember looking at the show and thinking, mate, this is fucking weird. Now I know a lot of children's shows are devoid of logic and rational thought, like why is Pengu's dad constantly washing and ironing clothes when the family is never even wearing any? And also, isn't that the woman's job? But Teletubbies was on a whole nother level. And here's something else on a whole nother level. Did you know that 2 out of 3 guys will experience some form of male pattern baldness by the time they're 35? And the problem is, once hair is gone, it is very difficult to get back. So that's why it's key to do something to prevent it from falling out in the first place. Keeps is a subscription service that provides advice and treatment on hair loss in men. With Keeps, you will have a licensed doctor review your information and provide the best hair loss treatment plan for you. Your treatment is shipped directly to you every 3 months, and there's 24/7 help and support should you have any questions along the way. And it's a lot cheaper than you think, as Keeps offers generic versions of the FDA approved medications for hair loss, which makes it a lot more affordable. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, go to keeps.com/Steve Reviews, or click the link in the description to get 50% off your first hair loss treatment. That's keeps.com/Steve Reviews. Thank you for listening, guys. Now back to the review. The show was originally developed for the British television company the BBC and was created by Anne Wood and Andrew Davenport. It focused around these 4 characters known as the Teletubbies: Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Laa-Laa, and Po, who were played by suit actors inside of a costume, which, by the way, were pretty friggin' big costumes. Like, Christ, that must have been effort to move around in. The Teletubbies would be situated in this fictional land called Teletubbyland, which features open fields, fictional flowers, and a whole bunch of wild rabbits running about. Which, fun fact, the rabbits used in the show were actually a special breed of rabbits known as Flemish Giants, which, clue in their title, are much larger than your typical rabbit. This was done to make them appear more normal sized alongside the giant Teletubby costumes. And apparently a lot of reshoots had to take place for the outdoor scenes, as the rabbits would be constantly getting it on. Lads. In the centre of this land would be the dome-shaped hub, which was the Teletubbies' home, officially called the Tubbytronic Superdome, which actually sounds like an amazing place to go. The filming location of the show was actually done at Wimpstone in Warwickshire, in which the once amazing Tubbytronic Superdome is now nothing but a standard pond. Thanks, climate change.
How dare you!
The Teletubbies would be watched over by the sun, which happened to also feature a baby's face. The baby wouldn't really do much other than laugh and react to the Teletubby shenanigans, but I always thought it would be cool if when it experiences high emotions, it would also amplify its intensity. I even once made this hilarious video of the Teletubby son being replaced by the screaming son from Rick and Morty. I posted it on Facebook and yeah, people loved it. Oh, and fun fact, here's how the baby behind the sun face looks now. Feeling old yet? There were other features in the land, such as these weird farting speakers that would appear from the ground, a magical windmill, and of course, some of that ever delicious looking tubby custard and tubby toast. The tubby custard was actually made out of mashed potato with food colouring. Not too sure about the tubby toast, but with the Teletubbies living isolated with no sign of crops, let's face it, it was probably made out of ground rabbit. Each episode of the show would last around 24 minutes, and in those 24 minutes it'd be broken down into 3 segments. One segment would feature each of the Teletubbies' head areas beginning to glow, in which one of them at random would start broadcasting some random media from their stomach television thing. Nothing really special from these segments, normally just some kids doing a random activity. Though even some of these would be weird at times. Like, what am I looking at here? Do these kids even understand what's being sung? Hell, do I even understand what's being sung?
You work so slow, jobs coming nobody can't afford to pick and choose.
What's going on? I don't know. Just keep dancing and don't get in the van. And then after the segment was over, they would do it all over again. No, seriously, the Teletubbies would demand that it be played again, and that's exactly what it does, with literally no editing or alteration whatsoever. I mean, that's one way to pad out the runtime. And on top of that, different episodes would feature segments that have been used from previous episodes, so you would get a repeat of the repeated segment. Christ, no wonder this show went on for 18 seasons. Another segment would feature the Teletubbies getting up to some random activity, either from finding a strange object in the lands, or just getting up to some silly shenanigans. And then the final segment would feature a performance from a random set of external characters, often presented in late 90s CGI. And one of those segments, though not in CGI, was deemed so scary for kids that it ended up not only getting banned from airing in the UK, but also internationally as well. And that, of course, is the infamous sketch of The Lion and the Bear.
I'm the bear, I'm the bear, and I'm coming!
The episode up until this point has been pretty standard. That is until the magic windmill begins to spin faster, and we hear this creepy voice.
It's the bear, and I'm coming!
The Teletubbies run up the hill and sit down as spectators. And then this thing appears.
I'm the bear, with brown fuzzy hair.
Even though the design isn't meant to be intentionally scary, it still has a disturbing look to it. The way it mechanically moves by itself and skates across the field gives me the same creepy vibes as the Wheelers from Return to Oz. The characters were actually wooden models that had certain moving parts which were operated manually. The way they made them move along was by using a small piece of string attached to the board. For the most part, these are actually pretty well hidden, making me think that they were potentially motorized, but in some shots if you look closely you can actually see the string being pulled. Oh, but if you think the bear is creepy, don't worry, there's more.
I am the scary lion with big scary teeth.
What was that weird scream from Tinky Winky? The others are just there laughing and he's like, "You fucking idiots! We're in grave danger! Run for your lives!" But yeah, I don't blame him. Whereas the bear looked creepy, the lion looks even worse. Mainly because of those sharp blade-like teeth and that horrifying death stare it gives to you. I can see they tried to give it a smile to make it look a bit more friendly looking, but honestly, I think it actually had the opposite effect.
I'm scary on the top, and I'm scary underneath.
So the lion is basically looking for the bear we saw earlier, and the funny gag is that the bear is hiding and teasing the lion like a game of hide and seek. The thing is, it feels less like a game of hide and seek amongst friends, and more like a game of life and death of an actual documentary. Because even though the bear seems to be taking it as a joke, the lion really sounds like it wants to murder it.
Where's the bear?
When I get hold of you, I'm gonna rip out your intestines and use them to hang you from a tree.
Then we get the lion actually chasing the bear, in which it's clear that he's really out for blood. That coupled with the eerie musical score, this sinister slow motion shot, and the bear just doing this? It really makes for quite a trippy sequence. The scene ends with the lion chasing the bear off screen, and that's it. You never know what their fate is. Though you do get this reaction from the Teletubbies afterwards. Which I like to think is their response to just witnessing the bear getting captured and killed off screen. Sadistic fucks. After the episode aired, it didn't take long for complaints to come in from numerous parents, claiming the segment to be too scary for the toddler target audience, and reports of their kids running away or crying at the TV. Now I would be lying to you if I said this was the scariest thing we've looked at that was aimed towards kids, but bear in mind this wasn't just aimed at kids, but more so toddlers, and for them I imagine this was a pretty fucked up viewing. Hell, even me, I was above the toddler age when I first watched this, and even I was creeped out by it. So much so that the moment someone mentioned it in the comment section, I was like, oh holy shit, I remember that. These complaints from parents grew so large that the episode featuring the creepy sketch was pulled from airing, even from international viewings. Oh, and remember when I mentioned that the Teletubbies would repeat segments in different episodes? Well, yep, they did that with this sketch too. So as a result, all of the episodes featuring the lion and the bear had to be pulled. Yeah, not so smart now, are you? In a form of damage control, the show did attempt to edit the original sketch in order to make it less terrifying to children. This included giving it a more upbeat musical score, changing the voices to make them sound more child-friendly.
It's the bear, and I'm coming. It's the bear, and I'm coming.
I am the scary lion, and I'm looking for the bear. I am the scary lion, and I'm looking for the bear.
Adding in random sound effects. And taking out some of the more creepy camera shots. Unfortunately, however, the damage was already done, and due to all the previous negativity, the sketch still remained unaired in some countries. Funnily enough though, this wasn't actually the only segment that caused issue with parents. One segment included the life cycle of a tree, which had it eerily dying towards the end. And I mean, it's not confirmed that it dies, but you can see where the impression came from. Plus the music at the end gives off a bit of a morbid tone. Why are you laughing, you satanic ball of molten evil? Another was this CGI dancing bear, which apparently crept kids out. Personally, I never had an issue with it, but I can see how the cheap CG does give it a cold, dead expression. Still beats the weird jazz players though. And finally, there were some complaints about these three boats being a bit intimidating to kids, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't see at all. But there are other controversies surrounding the show as well, which includes the issue surrounding Tinky Winky, who was actually banned in some countries as he was accused of being of, and I quote, a covert gay symbol that was designed to turn children into homosexuals, with the way that he carried a handbag, was the colour purple, which was the symbolic gay colour back then, and even down to his aerial antennae thing being in the shape of the gay symbol. This drew so much criticism that even the BBC had to officially respond to it, stating this: Tinky Winky is simply a sweet, technological baby with a magic bag. And then Ken Visselman of Itsy Bitsy Entertainment, who distributed the show in the USA, also had to comment, "He's not gay, he's not straight, he's just a character in a children's series." Brilliant. But yeah, that's the story of the banned Teletubbies episode. Let me know if you ever remember seeing this as a kid and whether it freaked you out when you were younger. Or if this is your first time seeing it, do you think it deserved to be banned? Let me know in the comments below, along with any other creepy children's media you think I should check out. But until the next one, take care.